Fox Sports welcomes you to Citizens Bank Park for the second of a three-game weekend series between two National League East rivals, the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. We welcome you to Fox Saturday Baseball. Kenny Albert along with Eric Karros. Phillies have won 4 in a row. They are a season-high 7 games over the 500 mark, and Jason Worth has provided the power as of late with a 3-run home run in each of the Phillies' last 2 games.
Well, Jason Worth has been great this season. When you think of the Phillies nationally, you're thinking Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins. But Jason Worth, he's finally arrived. He's coming off an all-star season last year, and I'll tell you what, he's picked it right up this year. 6 home runs, hitting at almost 360 is a big reason why the Phillies are atop the National League East.
They have won the division each of the last 3 years. Who will it be in 2010? The Mets with a walk-off win last night. The Marlins hovering around the 500 mark. The Nationals have surprised. The Braves need to start hitting. Will it be the Phillies for the 4th consecutive year? It's the Phillies and the Braves coming up from Philadelphia on Fox. Phillies with a 7-0 victory over the Braves in the series opener here last night behind Jamie Moyer. The Atlanta Braves have lost 2 straight. They come in with a record of 12-17. Braves batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Center fielder Nate McLeod leads off, followed by the second baseman Martin Prado. Chipper Jones hits third. Brian McCann in the cleanup spot. Then first baseman Troy Gloss. Left fielder Eric Hinsky bats sixth. Bottom of the order, right fielder Melky Cabrera. The shortstop Omar Infante. And pitcher Chris Medlin. As the Braves face 29-year-old right-hander Joe Blanton, making his second start this season. Began 2010 on the disabled list due to a strained oblique. Blanton started on Monday against the St. Louis Cardinals. Allowed 4 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings. Eric Joe Blanton's pitcher profile brought to you by Sprint.
Well, Joe Blanton's got to build off his last start. You saw the 4 earned runs, but he threw 6 real solid innings. Joe Blanton, what he does to be effective, he doesn't have a dominant pitch, but he moves the ball around the plate. He's got to have that control. If he does, he should be effective.
We take it back to Blanton's start on Monday against the Cardinals.
Again, he was effective, and this is his first start off of a rehab appearance with the strained oblique. He kept the Cardinals at bay, threw relatively well, got into that 7th inning, got into a little trouble, came out, but for 6 innings, he was good.
Blanton with 63 career wins. Spent his first 4.5 seasons in Oakland. The Phillies defensively brought to you by Scott's, Ibanez, Victorino, and Worth in the outfield from left to right. Howard at first, Polanco at second. Chase Utley has the day off. Valdez at short. Greg Dobbs at third, and Brian Schneider behind the plate. The battery of Blanton and Schneider. So we are set to go here in Philadelphia. Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. The beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. Braves batting just .232 as a team. They had only 2 hits in last night's game. They were no hit into the 8th inning in Washington on Thursday. Nate McLouth batting just .179 this season, leading off for Atlanta. The 1-0 from Blanton, in for a called strike. 1-1.
Well, you talk about the Atlanta Brave ball club and some of the struggles they've had, and really it focuses all around the offense, and specifically the top part of the lineup.
On the ground to the right side, and Ryan Howard takes it to the bag for out number 1. You want to see your name on the air? Play MLB on Fox. Tune in to win now on foxsports.com/tunein. Make your predictions during today's game between the Phillies and the Braves. Your predictions must be submitted by the end of the 2nd inning. Stick around to increase your chances of winning with the 7th inning bonus question. Winners will be announced on air during the 9th inning. Log out to foxsports.com/tunein to play now. Here's Martin Prado. Slumping as of late. No hits in his last 9 at-bats. But he is 7th in the league in hits. Batting .319 for the season. And Prado with his 38th hit of the season as he singles into left field.
Well, not much Greg Dobbs can do with this at third base. Prado hits it hard, and you see it hits right around where the grass and the dirt come together. You see Dobbs looking down at that spot. It kind of jumps up on him, and unless you're going to get in front of it and wear it right off your chest, it's going to be a difficult play.
Initially went up on the scoreboard as a base hit, but it has been changed to an error on Dobbs. Greg Dobbs making his 4th start at third base. Placido Polanco, the regular third baseman for the Phillies, at second for Utley this afternoon.
Well, I'm going to guess that scorekeeper's never got in front of a bad hop.
So Prado takes his lead off first with Chipper Jones at the plate. Chipper batting just .222 this season, but he has terrific career numbers against the Phillies. Look at his home road split. Curving foul down the line and right. 1-2 on Chipper Jones. He said after the game last night, I am embarrassed for myself with the way I've been playing this season.
Well, you know, he set such a high standard for himself with the way he's played throughout his career, and he's still getting on base. He gets down, he's got almost a .400 on base percentage, but he's not driving the ball at all. Slugging percentage of under .400, and this is a guy that, you know, going to go down as one of the most powerful switch hitters to ever play the game. I mean, you talk about the Eddie Murrays, the Mickey Mantles, Chipper Jones.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the first inning in Philadelphia. Martin Prado, the runner on first. Broken bat. Howard with the toss, and it cannot be fielded by Blanton. Prado to third, Chipper to second.
Well, that's a tough play for Ryan Howard, because not only is he going after the ball, but he's trying to stay away from that bat that was coming out, hurtling towards him. And he gets it. The only thing that he'd probably want to do differently is take his time. Because Chipper Jones broke his bat and got jammed, he's not getting out of the box that well. You see Ryan Howard has time there. Chipper Jones not even in the picture yet. He could have actually set himself and made the throw to Joe Blanton, which would have been easier for Blanton.
So the Phillies, who coming into this game were second defensively in the National League, have committed 2 errors here in the first inning.
Well, that's something that gets overlooked a lot when you talk about this Phillies ball club. You think of the prolific offense. You think now of Holiday at the top of this rotation. But defensively, the past few years, they've been at the top of the league.
High and tight to Brian McCann, and it got a piece of the jersey. So the Braves have loaded the bases without a hit here in the first inning.
Well, and that's it's kind of ironic, because that's probably the best chance that the Braves have, at least during this period right now, to score a run. You know, some errors, hit by pitch, but those are the sorts of innings, or these are the sorts of innings that if they can score, may spark them and get out of this doldrums that they've been offensively.
So 2 errors and a hit batsman. With the bases loaded, Troy Gloss. 0-1.
Well, see, right now, as a hitter, you've got to be patient. You know, this is an opportunity where the pitcher is in trouble, made some errors, there may be some frustration. You know, if you're Troy Gloss, Blanton's in trouble, look for something you can drive.
Check swing foul, 0-2 on Gloss. Gloss, the only Brave with a base hit in last night's game against Jamie Moyer. He had 2.
Yeah, but he struggled historically against Blanton. 2 for 18 coming into today's ball game. And, you know, you've seen right now the bases loaded. You've seen an offering at a slider that was out of the zone, and now a check swing. You're 0-2.
Gloss strikes out on 3 pitches.
Well, Gloss is 0-2 right now, and all you're trying to do is protect it. This is a nice fastball, has a little sinking action. Runs outside of the zone, gets Gloss to expand the zone, and ends up striking out. But this has really just been representative of what this Braves offense has been over the last 15 games.
So with 2 away, Eric Hinsky takes a called strike. 0-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 0-2 on Hinsky.
See Bobby Cox right there. Probably looking for Andres Galarraga or Fred McGriff or somebody.
Or Jason Hayward.
Yeah.
Who is not in the starting lineup today due to a sore right groin. He is available to pinch hit if needed. Across the way, Phillies manager Charlie Manuel is not in the ballpark today, tending to a personal matter. So Pete McCannon is running the ball club for Charlie Manuel. On the ground to the right side, charging is Polanco. Braves strand 3 in the first. 2 errors and a hit batsman, but Blanton gets out of the inning. Their last 7. Phillies batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Shane Victorino leads off, followed by the third baseman Greg Dobbs. Placido Polanco hits third. Ryan Howard in the cleanup spot. Then Jason Worth. Raul Ibanez hits 6th. Ryan Snyder 7th. Wilson Valdez 8th. And Joe Blanton 9th as the Phillies face 24-year-old right-hander Chris Medlin making his first start this season, filling in for the injured Jair Jurgens. Medlin started 4 games for the Braves last season. His pitcher profile is brought to you by Sprint.
Well, Chris Medlin has an excellent changeup. I spoke to the backup catcher, David Ross. He said he hasn't caught a changeup like this since he caught Eric Gagne during his Cy Young Award year. The fastball has some more life as compared to last year. It's got an extra few inches on it, gets in on the left-handed hitters. He's been dominant against left-handed hitters, 160 average.
Medlin last pitched in relief on Wednesday in Washington. Pitched a perfect 9th, picked up the victory over the Nationals. Strike 1 to Shane Victorino. Switch hitter batting from the left side against the right-hander Chris Medlin. Held off to the left side, 0-2. Victorino, 23 runs batted in, 9th in the National League. The 0-2 from Medlin, missing away. Victorino's done a nice job in the leadoff spot for the Phillies this season. On the other end of the spectrum, the Atlanta Braves leadoff man.
Well, the thing about the leadoff spot, you've got to get on base. You know, in both instances, whether it's Victorino right now filling in for Jimmy Rollins or the Atlanta Braves top of the lineup, you know, they're not getting on base at a very high clip. And then that impacts the middle of your lineup. It's especially impacted the middle of the Braves lineup. Guys have been able to pitch around Jones and Glaus, and it's been tough for Atlanta.
2-2 to Victorino. So, as was the case in the top half, the leadoff man for the Phillies is retired in the first as Victorino flies out to Hinske in left. A look at the Braves defensively brought to you by Scott's. Hinske, McLouth, and Melky Cabrera in the outfield. Gloss at first. Prado, Infante, and Chipper Jones around the infield, and the battery of Medlin and McCann. So with one away, here's Greg Dobbs. Chase Utley with his first day off of the season, so Polanco moves to second, and Dobbs making his third start at third base, primarily a pinch hitter for the Phillies. In his starts this season, he's hitting .364. You mentioned Jimmy Rollins still out on the disabled list. We'll head down to Florida beginning on Monday. Will take part in extended spring training in Clearwater. Hopes to be back pretty soon.
Well, and that just adds to this Philadelphia Philly lineup. You put him at the top of the lineup. You put Victorino at 7 or 8. It just lengthens this lineup. It's already a potent offensive lineup. You know, you see Greg Dobbs up here right now, and you're thinking, why is he playing? Utley's hot, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to give guys like Dobbs opportunities so that when they're called upon as pinch hitters, they'll be effective.
The 2-1 from Medlin. Now 2-2 on Dobbs with Polanco waiting on deck. On a 75-degree and somewhat windy afternoon in Philadelphia. A wind situation in the forecast. The 2-2, and Dobbs pops it up. The shortstop Infante moving to his left for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. As Placido Polanco steps in. Polanco with 2 hits in last night's game. And how about Jamie Moyer pitching the shutout? Oldest pitcher in Major League history to throw a shutout. Moyer still going strong at the age of 47.
Well, I think Chipper Jones said it best. There you see Jamie Moyer relaxing after a nice day's work last night. But Chipper Jones said it best. He said that was the best game I've ever seen a guy that only throws 80 miles an hour throw.
Base hit up the middle for Polanco. So the Phillies with a 2-out base runner here in the first. Jamie Moyer went the distance, allowed only 2 hits, struck out 5, becoming the oldest pitcher in big league history to throw a shutout. Former Brave Phil Niekro with the Yankees back in 1985 at the age of 46 had been the oldest to pitch a shutout. And Moyer becomes the first pitcher in baseball history with at least 1 shutout in 4 different decades.
I mean, he was something. I don't think he threw anything over the white part of the plate yesterday. A lot of things on the corner, on the black part, expanded the hitter zone. Typical Jamie Moyer.
262nd career win, which leads all active pitchers. Here's Ryan Howard with Polanco on at first and 2 outs.
See Ryan Howard up at the plate. You see that shift. Prado playing a rover position out in right field.
Fastball in for strike 2. Howard 1 career hit against Bedlin. No surprise. He left the ballpark.
Shocker. Well, you get that ball up in the air to right field today. It looks like it's going to fly. The flags are any indication of what it's doing.
0-2. Inside at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 32 home runs against the Braves. Most he has hit against any opponent, tied with the Expos/Nationals. The 1-2 from Medlin, and Howard rips it into right center. Big turn by Polanco, but he heads back to second. Phillies with first and second and 2 outs, with Jason Worth heading to the plate.
Well, you see what they were trying to do with Ryan Howard. You get that fastball, he's looking away, then you come hard in. Now you've got him set up 0-2. You just miss right there. And then you throw that breaking ball, just hung up in the zone right there. Not the bite that Medlin wanted there, but the idea, the plan, pretty impressive.
So here's Jason Worth, among the league leaders in numerous categories in the National League. 3-run shot in the 3rd inning off Derek Lowe last night. Also hit a 3-run home run on Thursday. Leads the league in doubles, extra base hits. 2nd in batting average behind Andre Ethier of the Dodgers.
Well, the thing about Jason Worth that makes him so effective, he's up at the plate and he's very patient. Last year led the National League in pitches seen. Again, doing the same this year. The more pitches you see, the more opportunity you give the pitcher to make a mistake.
1-1 from Medlin. Center field, McLouth over to his left. He's called off by the right fielder Cabrera. And the Phillies strand 2 in the first. No score here in Philadelphia. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. By the all-new 2011 Super Duty, built for tough. And by Sprint, the Now Network. Kenny Albert, Eric Karros back in Philadelphia as we move to the second inning with Melky Cabrera leading off against Joe Blanton. Braves loaded the bases in the first inning without a base hit. Phillies committed 2 errors. And Brian McCann was hit by a pitch. But Blanton struck out Troy Gloss. Eric Hinsky grounded out to second. And now Melky Cabrera grounds out to the shortstop, Wilson Valdez, as we check out our 4 keys to the game.
I mean, it's so simple right now for the Atlanta Braves. They just got to get that offense going. And again, it was almost like pouring salt in the wound in that first inning. Bases loaded. They can't score. Phillies get the top of that lineup on. Victorino has got to get on base. And you got to continue that starting pitching dominance. Their last 4 starts, the Phillies have been virtually unhittable with the starting pitchers. Only 2 earned runs allowed. Joe Blanton just looking to continue that dominance today.
Facing Omar Infante with 1 out. Infante squared to bunt. 0-1. Phillies pitchers have not allowed a home run now in 39 innings. 5th in the league in earned run average. Blanton, we mentioned, making only his 2nd start, coming off the disabled list. Roy Halladay 6-1 with an earned run average of 1.45. Jamie Moyer, tremendous performance last night and winning for the 3rd time this season. 1-2 on Infante with the pitcher Medlin waiting on deck.
Well, and that's the thing with this offense and with typically the way the Philly ball club plays defense. The starting pitching doesn't have to be dominant. They have to be good. The bullpen, with the return of Brad Lidge, the emergence of Jose Contreras as an 8th inning guy, it can be a dominant staff.
Infante down on strikes. 2nd strikeout for Joe Blanton. Well, tonight, NASCAR on Fox will bring you Sprint Cup Series racing, where Mark Martin will try to defend his title and take home the 41st checkered flag of his career. Coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing from Darlington Raceway begins tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific in high definition on Fox. Chris Medlin in search of his first career base hit. Medlin is 0 for 15. 0 for 2 this season. Primarily a relief pitcher, so does not come up to bat very often. Made 4 starts for the Braves last year. And Eric, you were talking about what the Phillies have received from their starting pitchers this week.
It's pretty good. I mean, again, you couple that with the offense that they've got, and a lot of those numbers were compiled against the St. Louis Cardinals, one of the best offensive teams in the game.
All but Moyer. Moyer shutting out the Braves last night. Payoff pitch to Medlin. Howard, Blanton covering. A 1-2-3 second for Blanton. Still scoreless here in Philly. what we do. Bottom of the second inning on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Philadelphia. Second of a 3-game weekend series. Raul Ibanez leading off for the Phillies against Chris Medlin. Ibanez takes ball one, hitting .250 this season. 2 hits, drove in 2 runs in last night's game. Two and 0. Ibanez, Schneider, and Valdez for the Phillies here in the second.
I was speaking with hitting coach for the Phillies, Milt Thompson, talking about Raul Ibanez, and he felt like he was just ready to start getting hot. Hit a home run the other day, as you mentioned, a couple of hits. Remember how productive he was last year, especially up until the All-Star break for this Philly lineup. I mean, if they can get any kind of semblance of what he did at the beginning of last year, man, I mean, how good can these guys be?
Drove in 93 runs for the Phillies last season. Hit a career-high 34 home runs. The 2-2 from Medlin, fouled off to the left side. So Ibanez stays alive. He's down since coming back from his injury last July.
The groin injury, and that's tough from a hitting standpoint because that's your legs and it's the rotational part.
Medlin quickly off the mound with the toss to Gloss, and Ibanez is retired. Here's bench coach Pete McCannon, former manager in Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, filling in for Charlie Manuel today. And we will chat with Pete a little bit later on.
I wonder if he made the decision to sit Utley today, to sit Ruiz. We'll have to ask him that.
Yeah. Chase Utley, 8 home runs, lead the league in runs scored, in walks. His first day off of the season. Carlos Ruiz leads the National League in on-base percentage.
Now you see there, you talk about Chase Utley, and we were having this discussion the other day. I mean, I think I'd have to make the argument that he's probably the best player in baseball not to have won an MVP award. I think in time that will happen. You know, a lot of people that second baseman, they overlook the power and his ability to come to play every single day playing second base. Again, you're talking about a team, Jimmy Rollins MVP, Ryan Howard MVP, and he's the next.
Brian Schneider with a base hit into right field. Schneider starting for Ruiz this afternoon with only his 3rd base hit of the season in 18 at bats. So the Phillies have a 1-out base runner here in the second.
But here, Brian Schneider, ball in the outer part of the plate. He pulls it just off the end of the bat, able to get it by the second baseman. Gets himself a base hit. Chase Utley there.
So with Schneider on at first, here is the shortstop Wilson Valdez, who drove in 2 runs in last night's game. Juan Castro had been filling in for Jimmy Rollins, but Castro now suffering from a strained hamstring. So Valdez making his 5th start of the season. Medlin pulled the string, 0-2. Blanton on deck, Schneider the runner on first, 1 out. Bottom of the second inning in Philadelphia. Go-to from Medlin, and Valdez is down on strikes. First strikeout for Medlin. Now 2 away. Next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Ryan Howard and the Phillies head to Milwaukee as they take on Ryan Braun and the Brewers. Some of you will see the Mariners and the Tampa Bay Rays. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser returns next week at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game in your area. So now 2 away with Joe Blanton at the plate. Blanton 0 for 2 in his first start on Monday. A career 108 hitter. His only career home run came during the World Series back in October of 2008 against the Rays. Two outs, bottom of the second inning. Phillies stranded 2 base runners in the first. Brian Schneider takes his lead off first. And the 1-1 to Blanton, fouled off to the right side, now 1-2.
Blanton not going to get cheated. Definitely going to take his hacks. And he came over from the American League, didn't get a lot of at-bats over there.
Wants another new bat.
Give me Wonder Boy.
His third bat of this at bat. He's seen 3 pitches, and this is bat number 3.
That's expensive.
Blanton gets the bat on it. Base hit into left field. Schneider moves to second. So Joe Blanton with the 10th hit of his career. And the Phillies have 2 on with Shane Victorino.
See, he finally got the right bat in his hands. That was the problem all along. And when he has the right bat in his hands, that is the hit bat right there. And he was able to throw it out there, and he got the hit. It's all about the bat. It has nothing to do with the swing or the mechanics. Just got to get the right bat.
Third bat is the charm for Joe Blanton. So first and second for Victorino, who fly to left his first time up. One from Medlin. Base hit left field. Schneider rounding third, coming home. Phillies lead 1-0. RBI number 24 for Victorino. And Blanton helping his own cause with a base hit to keep this inning alive.
Well, nice job of Shane Victorino going with the pitch. It's up, out over the plate. Instead of trying to pull it, he serves it out over into left field. Easily scoring Brian Schneider. But again, this inning, you have to really give credit to Joe Blanton, his at-bat. Battled up there and was able to get a hit. You know, a lot of times with 2 outs and a guy on first, a pitcher will just go up there, let's just get this over with, I'll get out there and pitch. But to his credit, his at-bat has meant a run.
Blanton now on second. Victorino over at first as Greg Dobbs takes a called strike. Dobbs popped out to the shortstop, Infante, his first time up. So the Phillies strike first after winning last night's game 7-0. Fastball missing away. 1-1.
You know, when you're in the rut like the Braves are in right now, it just, you know, you don't score when you have the bases loaded and less than 2 outs in the first inning. You know, the pitcher in this inning comes up and battles you, gets on base, extends the inning. Next guy scored with a base hit. You know, it just seems as though you can't do anything right. You know, and the thing about it, because it's a 162-game season, you're going to have periods like this. And, you know, the guys that survive are the ones that can battle through it and just know that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. when you start doubting yourself and getting down that you dig yourself a hole deeper and deeper, and then you don't get out of it.
1-2, another foul off to the left side. Braves with the second worst record in the National League. They started the season 8-5, but have gone just 4-12 since. Only the Astros have a poorer winning percentage in the National League than the Braves. Pitch number 25 of the inning from Medlin. Dobbs down on strikes. Phillies strand two, but they score a run. We'll return to Philadelphia after these messages from your local Fox station. The order for the Braves against Joe Blanton, who had a large hand in the Phillies' run in the bottom of the second inning. Nate McClouth leading off, grounded out to the first baseman Ryan Howard, leading off this game. McClouth, then Martin Prado, followed by Chipper Jones here in the third inning for Atlanta.
You know, for me, this is the guy that's really got to get going. I mean, he'll set the table. You can have Prado hit second. When Hayward's back, Glaus, McCann, Chipper Jones, give them an opportunity in the middle of the lineup. But if Nate McClouth isn't getting on, putting pressure on the opposing team, you know, it changes the whole way that opposing pitchers can go after this Braves lineup.
The 2-2 to McClouth, fouled back. McClouth, an all-star back in 2008 with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, you hit it right on the head, though, when you said the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the reason I say that, it's a different dynamic, playing in Pittsburgh and the expectations, and then coming to Atlanta and being expected to play at a certain level, a team that has historically, you know, competed atop the division. there's different pressures, different demands. And the reality is, playing in Pittsburgh in the last since the early 90s, there's not a lot of pressure there. I don't know how many meaningful games the Pirates have played in the last 20 years.
Not many. Acquired by the Braves last June 3rd. Yet another foul on the 8th pitch of this at bat. Toronto waiting on deck. Braves still looking for their first base hit of this game, as McLeod fouls it off, this time back behind first.
Well, if anything, he's battling. He's making Blanton work. Remember, Blanton's been out on the base path this last inning, been standing out there.
10th pitch to McLeod. This one stays fair, and Howard takes it to the bag. Well, during this 3rd inning, we honor the memories of 2 Hall of Famers who passed away this week, Ernie Harwell and Robin Roberts, a pair of gentlemen who represented their families and the sport of baseball with class, dignity, and honor. Toronto bloops out to Polanco at second. During the next at bat, with Chipper Jones heading to the plate, we are going to remain silent here in the broadcast booth in memory of one of the game's legendary broadcasters. Two of the all-time greats in the sport of baseball, Ernie Harwell and Robin Roberts, and we will continue to reminisce about both Hall of Famers throughout this afternoon's broadcast. Chipper Jones on at first. First walk issued by Blanton, and Brian McCann took a called strike, 0-1. McCann hit by a pitch his first time up, which loaded the bases, but the Braves could not score. The 1-2 from Blanton. McCann got a piece of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, this is a guy, for me, that really can impact this ball club offensively. He's much like Chipper Jones this year in that he's getting on base, but there hasn't been a lot of power. I mean, a slugging percentage coming into today of .378. And this is a guy that's got gap power, can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And he doesn't do you a lot of good unless he's driving runs, hitting singles. Not the most fleet of foot.
Pitch number 8 to McCann. Second consecutive walk issued by Blanton. So the Braves have runners on first and second with 2 outs. Time for our Mercedes trivia question, Eric. Who was the only pitcher in baseball history to defeat the Boston Braves, the Milwaukee Braves, and the Atlanta Braves? We'll give the viewers a couple of minutes to think about it. 2 on, 2 out for Troy Gloss, who struck out with the bases loaded back in the first inning. Chipper Jones on second. McCann takes his lead off first. Fastball misses low, 1-1.
You know, I've been harping on the slugging percentage and the ability for the Braves to drive the ball. Chipper Jones, Brian McCann, around .370, .380. Troy Gloss at .320. I mean, this is a guy that has hit over 40 home runs. Has been a power guy, a guy that creates runs. And, you know, General Manager Frank Wren, when he signed Troy Gloss, he hoped that he could provide that at first base. So far, this early part of the season, the returns have not been there.
2-2. Lost the World Series MVP back in 2002 with the Angels. Played in only 14 games with the Cardinals last season due to shoulder surgery. All kinds of debris blowing out in front of home plate, so Gloss calls time, steps out of the box. 2-2 is bounced foul. How distracting can that be for a hitter?
Well, the bad part is when it's not so much when they're blowing on the ground, but it'll be on the ground and then boom, a gust of wind will blow it right up into the path of the ball as far as when it's being thrown. I mean, for me, I didn't want anything in between the pitcher's mound and home plate when I was up at the plate. You know, one of the things pitchers would do when that was going on is that they'd hold the ball for a period and make you, wait. I mean, I'd always call timeout. I'd just get out. But some hitters, they try to wait out the pitcher.
Yet another foul on the 33rd pitch this inning by Blanton. Threw only 29 over the first 2 innings combined.
Well, an uncharacteristic inning, especially with the 2 walks, Chipper Jones and Brian McCann. And he was having an efficient inning. First 2 hitters, put them down. Now he's making sure he's on track here with Brian Schneider. You got a runner at second base. Want to make sure that you got the signs right. Know what they're doing with Gloss.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Center field, Jason Worth backpedaling, and he makes the catch on the edge of the track. So Gloss has stranded 5 in his first 2 at-bats. Phillies with a run in the second inning on 3 hits. They've also stranded 4 over the first 2. Placido Polanco takes strike 1. Polanco singled back in the first inning. The 2-1 to Polanco, and he has his second base hit of the game past a diving Prado. So the leadoff man is on for the Phillies here in the third.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Polanco, just what a great addition for this ball club. You play second or third and fill in that third spot or the second spot, he could play.
His second stint with the Phillies, as Ryan Howard steps in. Howard singled to right center his first time up. First pitch to Howard, missing high, ball 1. Again, the Braves in the Howard shift.
Well, what'll be interesting too is if Polanco decides to steal. See, right? Oh, you missed him there. You got Chipper Jones, the third baseman, would be covering second. There's Chipper right there. He's going to have to get over to second base if Polanco tries to steal.
I wonder how many times Chipper has had to do that in his career. A 1-1, fastball missing inside, 2-1.
Well, and you just mentioned inside. That's right now the pattern that the Braves have established. They're going to try to work hard inside with the fastball in off the plate. You know, if you're going inside, the danger of it is if you don't get it in far enough, especially on a day like this with the wind blowing to right field.
Again, Medlin comes inside, 3-1. Jason Worth waiting on deck. Polanco a leadoff single. And now the 3-1 to Howard. Bounce foul off to the right side. Full count. The off pitch from Medlin, and Howard is down on strikes. Third strikeout for Chris Medlin as we take you back to our Mercedes-Benz trivia question. Who is the only pitcher in Major League history to defeat the Boston Braves, the Milwaukee Braves, and the Atlanta Braves? And the answer is Robin Roberts, the Hall of Famer who passed away on Thursday at the age of 83. He's number 36. Unofficially retired by the Phillies back in 1962. Officially retired in 2008. Jason Worth at the plate. Grew up in the same hometown as Robin Roberts, who won 286 games during his illustrious career. Pitched 305 complete games. Yes, 305 complete games. Helped lead the 1950 Phillies, the Whiz Kids, to the National League pennant. Phillies' first World Series appearance in 35 years. And Jason Worth's great-grandfather, John Schofield, back in Springfield, Illinois, was a teammate of a 17-year-old Robin Roberts. Robin inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame back in 1976. What a career and what a legacy here in Philadelphia. Also pitched for the Orioles, the Astros, and the Cubs. Holds the Phillies record for most wins by a right-handed pitcher with 234. And when Jason Worth hit his 3-run home runs each of the last 2 days as he crossed the plate, pointed skyward in memory of hometown hero in both Springfield, Illinois and Philadelphia, Robin Roberts. Robin spent a lot of time around the Phillies. Knew many of the current Phillies personally. This is Jason Worth following his 3rd inning home run last night.
That's the thing, you talk to the Philly players, and the thing that they probably respected most about Robin Roberts is, you know, that he knew about them. He followed them. He wasn't consumed with his own career. He tried to help out the guys. Wasn't one of the guys that would talk about how great things were in the past. You know, talked about, you know, what guys were doing now.
Check out some of these numbers.
You know what? For me, I mean, those things are ridiculous. But, you know, a 17-inning complete game, face 71 hitters. I mean, that's unheard of.
On the ground to the shortstop, Infante. Petrado for 1 over the first double play. Braves turn the 6-4-3. After 3, 1-0 Phillies. The statue of Robin Roberts outside the ballpark. To 300,000 miles. 4th inning in Philadelphia. Phillies lead the Braves 1-0. Braves no hits over the first 3 innings. They have stranded 5 base runners. And Carlos Ruiz is now behind the plate for the Phillies. We're told Brian Schneider has left the game with a left Achilles strain.
Nope, no day off for Ruiz. Interesting, though, Carlos Ruiz, besides being a fine defensive catcher, leading the National League in on-base percentage.
And the first pitch of the inning is driven foul off the bat of Eric Hinsky, who grounded out to the second baseman Polanco his first time up. Hinsky went deep in Game 4 of the 2008 World Series off Blanton. Later in that inning, Blanton hit his World Series home run. Here's the 0-2. Chopped, fielded by Blanton. And the toss to Howard for out number 1. We chatted with the Phillies bench coach, the acting manager today, Pete Mackanin. And we asked him about the Phillies having committed 2 errors back in the first inning.
Chipper, but he made great pitches and battled. Looked like he was in total command of himself.
So when you manage for a day, do you get to do something that you want to do as far as maybe sitting Utley or sitting Ruiz, or is it just trying to keep the train moving?
I get strict orders from Charlie. We talked this morning a couple times, and I basically go along according to the game plan. I can't do what I want, but what Charlie's been doing lately for the last 3-4 years has been working. So I'll listen to what he tells me.
Do you expect him to check in during the game?
I hope not. I hope he's enjoying himself at his daughter's wedding and not worrying about anything else. We're going to win this game.
All right, thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
So we send our best wishes to the entire Manuel family. We apologize. The first part of Pete Mackanin's answer was cut off, but he was referring to the top of the first inning after the errors were committed by Dobbs and Howard. Blanton then struck out Gloss, and Hinsky grounded out. Infante pops out to Howard in foul territory. Blanton 34 pitches in the third, only 7 in the fourth. By Budweiser. Bottom of the fourth inning in Philadelphia with Raul Ibanez leading off for the Phillies, who lead the Braves 1-0. And we are joined live from the Braves dugout by Atlanta pitcher Tim Hudson. Tim, thanks for taking a couple of minutes, and congratulations last Saturday on Fox. You picked up your 150th career victory against the Houston Astros.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. And yeah, it was definitely an honor to be out there and get it finally.
Your thoughts on the pitching performances so far today of your current teammate Chris Medlin and your former teammate in Oakland, Joe Blanton?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Medlin's gone out there and he's done what we expected of him. He's got really good stuff, good changeup. He's developed a good sinker over the last few weeks, and Blanton's been tough. It's kind of, unfortunately, it's been a common thing for us lately. But you got to tip your hat to him, man. He's mixing it up on us good.
Huddy, what do you do as a pitcher when you watch the offense right now? They're struggling.
There's a base hit into right field off the bat of Raul Ibanez, so the Phillies have leadoff man on for the second consecutive inning.
I mean, does that change your approach as a pitcher? Do you feel like you have to be more fine, or do you just try to say, look, I can't worry about that?
No, well, we just go out there and we just got to bear down. The strength of our team is going to be our pitching, and we understand that. And, we just go out there and give us try to put up some zeros, take a little pressure off of our guys offensively. Our guys are working hard to get through this. We're gonna get through it. We got to go out there and keep swinging it. And when we do, somebody's gonna pay. It's one of those things where we're a lot better offensively than we've shown over the last couple of weeks, and we're gonna come out of it.
A lot of people don't know you might be breaking out the bat with those Auburn days of yours when you were swinging it.
Hey, I want to keep that a secret. Yeah.
We brought up the fact last week that you broke Frank Thomas's RBI record down at Auburn, and Mark Grace, my partner last week, was somewhat surprised, but you were the SEC Player of the Year that year, right?
Yeah, it was. I was your poster child for aluminum bat, 150-pound cleanup hitter. But it was. You put the wood in my hand back then, and man, I swing it about as good now as I did then, which is not very good. So, but it was. It was back when I was a baseball player. I'm just a pitcher now.
Here's the 2-0 to Carlos Ruiz. And Medlin missing high, ball 3.
And how are you physically? Everything good? Coming off the injuries, and you look like you've thrown well this year.
Yeah, I feel really good. I can't be happier how I feel physically. I've made a few adjustments over the last couple of weeks. It's really making action on some of my pitches a lot better. And physically I feel good, man. My arm is as good as it's been in a very long time, and physically my body feels good. It's nice to go out there and worry about getting guys out, not worrying about if what's hurting the worst on you.
3-1 and a base hit into left field. And the Phillies with runners on first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now, Tim, you're 34. You'll be 35 in July.
Come on now. I'm 33. I'll be 34. Come on. Don't cheat me out of
Are we
here.
looking at wrong information here? It is 2010.
Yeah, man. I'll be 34 in July.
We'll have to check that one.
Come on, man.
But my question was going to be, what was going through your mind last night watching 47-year-old Jamie Moyer pitch?
I'll tell you what, man. It's really impressive. He goes out there, man, and he just gets the job done. He changes speeds, changes location, has a good cutter that he keeps those right-handers honest with, and has a great changeup. And he just goes out there and competes, man. It's really fun to watch a guy who's that passionate about the game for as many years as he's been out there. And congratulations to him. I wish it wasn't against us, but he's gone out there and has done a great job for him all year, and I expect him to continue to.
So, Huddy, you're pitching right now. You got runners on first and second. Man on deck is the pitcher. What are you doing with the hitter right here?
Well, obviously I'm going to try to throw some sinkers, man. Try to get him to grind out into a good old-fashioned double play. But you understand you do have the pitcher behind him, but obviously you don't want to. You want to try to get this guy out. You don't want to load the bases with no out, even though it is the pitcher. But they're a good ball club, man. They battle you, from top to bottom. They're going to go out there and battle you, and that's without Chase Utley in the lineup. Not having him in the lineup is definitely a lot easier. But still, even without him in the lineup, they're really tough.
Valdez flies out to McLouth for out number 1. Well, Chevy and Scotts are building diamonds and dreams. See how the kids could win a ballpark makeover, and you could win a new Chevy at ChevyBaseball.com. So with 1 out, runners on first and second. Here is Joe Blanton, who singled to keep the inning alive back in the second, and the Phillies would go on to score the first run of this game. Blanton squares to bunt, and Medlin throws to second. And Tim, we talked about your hitting prowess back in the Auburn days. Blanton with a big base hit for the Phillies back in the second inning.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately that led to a run for him. You know, obviously hindsight's always 20/20. Obviously, I think he threw him a changeup and got a base hit when he was fouling the fastballs off into their dugout. But you know, it's make a play.
Almost.
Man, that would have been nice.
Well, this up in the air. Chipper just unable to get there. Medlin hustling over, but the best thing that happens right there, if you're not going to catch it, ball goes foul. Nobody touches it, doesn't bounce off somebody's leg and stays fair. Huddy, you're up at the plate right now. You get the bunt sign. Do you act like you don't see it and go and hit away, or do you get that bunt down?
Man, I'm probably going to get the bunt down. I'm going to tell you, there's times when you want to do one of those old slashes on them. You know.
There's the 0-1. Blanton gets the bunt down. So Blanton does his job as both runners advance. So with 2 outs, runners on second and third, and we thank Tim Hudson for joining us. Tim, best of luck at your next start in Milwaukee on Tuesday.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
And congratulations on an early 34th birthday.
Thank you, brother.
Now, either Tim has lost track or the Braves media guide is incorrect.
I'm going to go with the media guide. Although a few years ago I would have said Tim might have lost track, but
according to the Braves media guide, he was born July 14th, 1975.
You've been absolved. I see it. I'm looking at it. You've been absolved.
So you'll go with Tim on this one.
I'm going to go with Tim.
Top of the order now for the Phillies. He did call me out on it, though. I guess one would
another
would
year,
know
that's
his own
it.
age, right?
Yeah, you know, his years add up here in this league.
He's got to let the Braves front office know. Here's Victorino with runners on second and third, 2 outs. Called strike, 0-1. Ibanez on at third. Ruiz takes his lead off second. The 0-1 to Victorino. 0-2. Victorino 1 for 2. Drove in the Phillies run back in the second. Medlin 78 pitches in his first start this season. He started 3 games during spring training. 4 starts for the Braves last year. Fastball missing high, 1-2.
Well, you've got him down 1-2 or ahead in the count. You don't want to give him anything that he can hit. I mean, the ball's got to be off the plate. Don't even try to make the perfect pitch. Make him expand the zone. Make him try to be aggressive, but don't give him anything that he can hit in this particular pitch.
On the ground to the second baseman, Prado. Phillies strand 2 in the inning. They've left 6 men on base in the game. All-Star game in Anaheim. To nominate, go to peopleallstars.com. Chris Medlin leading off for the Braves here in the 5th inning against Joe Blanton, who needed only 7 pitches to retire the Braves in order in the 4th. Medlin grounded out to the first baseman Howard, his first time up. And Medlin with a shot past Dobbs into left field. So Chris Medlin with what should be his first career base hit.
I don't know. The way the scorekeeper is here on that other one, they didn't give him a hit. I'm going to wait till I see this.
It is ruled a base hit. So
there
it's
we
the
go.
First hit of the game for the Braves. And the first career base hit for Medlin. He had been 0 for 16. So Blanton helped his cause back in the 2nd inning. And now, thanks to Medlin, the Braves have the leadoff man on for the first time today. Nate McClouth 0 for 2. Grounded out twice to Ryan Howard.
I think this is a situation where McClouth has got that whole right side of the infield wide open. Kind of surprised that Ryan Howard is holding the pitcher on right here. You know, a lot of times with a left-handed hitter, the pitcher usually doesn't run. The first baseman will play behind the base runner to give him a little more range. McClouth got to just crowd the plate and try and pull some.
Bobby Cox told us last week that the problem for the Braves throughout this season has not been getting men on base. It's been driving those runners in. And that has been the case today. Braves loaded the bases in the 1st, could not score. They had 2 men on in the 3rd, could not score. And now McClouth grounds into a 6-4-3 double play. First time McClouth has grounded into a double play all season. As we check out our Verizon game summary, Shane Victorino has driven in the game's only run. And good pitching performances on both sides. Medlin has the Braves' only base hit, but he was erased on the double play as Prado takes strike 1.
Yeah, I think Joe Blanton, though, he's getting credit for the pitching, but really, you know, he set up that RBI for Shane Victorino with a great at-bat.
And now it's Victorino. He makes the play in center field. Prado is retired. Braves are retired in the 5th. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. Phillies lead the Braves 1-0, bottom of the 5th inning. On a beautiful afternoon here in Philadelphia. Braves with only 1 base hit of the game. Phillies 1 run on 8 hits. As Greg Dobbs leads off against Chris Medlin. Fouled off to the left side. Dobbs 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up back in the 2nd inning. Phillies at 18-11. First place in the National League East by 2 games over the Mets. Dobbs pops it into center field. McLouth backpedaling. 1 away. Time now for a DirecTV game break. We take it to Fenway. CC Sabathia is taken deep by his former teammate with the Indians. Victor Martinez, a 2-run shot. 3-2 Red Sox. Then in the 4th, Francisco Cervelli with an RBI single off play. Buchholz. Nick Swisher scores. Randy Wynn out at the plate. But the Yankees tie the game. Yankees and Red Sox tied at 3 in the 4th. The only way to watch every MLB game in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. Yankees beating Josh Beckett last night in the series opener. Yankees at 20-8, second place in the American League East. Red Sox 7.5 out behind the first place Rays. Placido Polanco with 2 hits today. Polanco fists one foul down the right field line. You had a look at the out-of-town scores. Mets and Giants tied at 4 in the 11th. Orioles beat the Twins in the first of a split doubleheader, 7-3. Yesterday, the first rainout in Minnesota since 1980.
Well, go ahead, throw that caveat on there. Playing in that dome stadium.
Twins back outdoors. Weather's something they have not had to deal with in the last 3 decades. 1 ball, 2 strike count with Ryan Howard waiting on deck. Nationals beat the Marlins today 5-4. So Washington now 16-14, and
it's really a nice job by Jim Riggleman and Mike Rizzo, the general manager down there. You know, look, they're not going to win a division, but they're also not going to be a doormat. You're going to have to come in and play against those guys.
Nice backhanded play by Infante, but Polanco beats the throw.
Well, Infante getting to the ball and doing his best Derek Jeter imitation. Throws it across. Troy Glaus, glove down, head up. The no-look catch there. Chris Medlin hoping to get the call from first base umpire Wally Bell.
Third hit of the game for Polanco. And that will be all for Chris Medlin.
1-1 with a 2.31 ERA.
25-year-old left-hander. And he will face Ryan Howard, who is 1 for 5 lifetime against O'Flaherty. First pitch flowing away, ball 1.
Well, Placido Polanco gets down to first base, but look at the ball in Troy Glaus's glove, and still a good step away from the base. Philly's getting a break there. Now they've got to capitalize.
Fouled off to the right side, 1-1.
You know, and usually when a guy makes a nice play, the defense usually gets the benefit of the doubt. You know, they'll get the call. And shortstop there, Omar Infante, making a very nice play.
Throw to second for 1, back to first. Good play by Prado as he gets the lead runner Polanco and then Howard. So a 4-5-3 double play. Together by Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage, and by Chevy. Every model is backed by a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Kenny Albert, Eric Karros back in Philadelphia. Top of the 6th inning with Chipper Jones leading off for the Braves. Jones part of the 4-5-3 double play. And now he reaches to start this 6th inning.
Well, Chipper Jones showing a little speed right there and showing some athletic ability last inning. Now he's third baseman, but because of the shift, he's got to turn the double play. Gets the throw from Prado, gets out of the way, knows that he's got Ryan Howard running. See him get out of the way, and he's got a good strong arm. Knows that he's got time, makes a good throw. And then, like a typical middle infielder, comes up right now and bounces one over the pitcher's head and shows that great speed. Hustles on down.
Would you have practiced that at all this year? You don't really employ the shift very often. Now McCann with a base hit into left field.
I thought you were talking about beating the ball into the ground just over the pitcher's head and hustling.
Well,
that part of practice.
But
no, Chipper's a good enough athlete, and because he played in high school, he was up the middle. And again, just screwing around in infield practice. I'm sure he does a few of those, but again, that wasn't a bang-bang play.
So the Braves with only one hit over the first 5 innings. Jones and McCann with back-to-back singles here in the 6th. And Troy Gloss at the plate with all kinds of dirt blowing up in his face.
Again, this is the 3rd opportunity today where Gloss has come up with at least 2 runners on base.
He has stranded 5 base runners so far. And here in the 6th inning, he flies out to the center field of Victorino. And Jones is in standing at 3rd. So runners on the corners now with 1 out. Well, we can't guarantee the Phillies will win it in front of yet another sellout crowd. They're 56th in a row, but Valvoline will guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles. Valvoline, the first and only motor oil in the industry to guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles. 1 away, and an opportunity here for Eric Hinske. With runners on the corners, and Hinske with a drive to deep center field. Bounces off the out-of-town scoreboard. Chipper Jones scores. Stopping at 3rd is McCann. In at 2nd with a double is Eric Hinske. He drives in his 9th run of the season, tying this game at 1.
Well, Eric Hinske getting it started in left field and finally getting a hit the Braves with runners in scoring position. He jumps on the first one, up in the zone, hits it over Jason Worth's head. Now watch Jason Worth go after this ball. Look at that. Climbs the fence and barehands it while climbing on the fence. Comes down, makes a good strong throw. Now watch this. That takes you back to your elementary school days, trying to hop over a fence somewhere. Jason Worth, one of the most athletic players in the game. Can do it all. Big man, 6'5", lanky.
A role awaits Jason in the next Spider-Man movie. The 2nd and 3rd, still only 1 out. Melky Cabrera 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. And a base hit into left field. Braves take the lead. McCann scores. 7th run batted in for Cabrera. It is now 2-1 Atlanta.
Melky just shoots this through the other side. Not really something you're trying to do, though. With runners on 2nd and 3rd, you're trying to hit the ball in the air. You know, the last thing you want to do is hit a ground ball to the 3rd baseman. Then man on 3rd, Brian McCann can't run. I mean, Melky Cabrera, fortunate he was able to shoot that through to the infield. 5 hitters in this inning. We've only seen 7 pitches. Being a lot more aggressive. They got 4 base hits. You know, that's one of the things Blanton very much around the plate. As a hitter, Braves have just gone up there and started swinging.
Chad Durbin up in the Phillies pen. Braves had only 1 hit through 5, no hits through the first 4 innings. But 4 hits on, as Eric said, 7 pitches here in the 6th. So the Braves with their first lead of this series. They lost 7-0 last night. Lead this game 2-1. Hinske and Cabrera, who both played against the Phillies in the World Series last October with the Yankees, have driven in the runs for the Braves.
Well, this is really the big at-bat right now of the inning. I mean, Omar Infante, with 1 out and a runner on 3rd, as well as first, got to get the ball up in the air. You do not want to hit a ground ball, hit into a double play. It's an important run right down there at 3rd base. They'll give you a 2-run lead. That's a good at-bat. That's a great at-bat right there.
Victorino makes the catch. Hinske comes home. In safely at 2nd is Cabrera, and the Braves now lead 3-1. Sacrifice fly, RBI number 8 on the season for Omar Infante.
That's an excellent at-bat, and it's an excellent at-bat because he went up there with a plan and was able to execute. It wasn't just going up there and, oh, I'm just going to see the ball and hit it hard. He's got a job to do right there. He's got to get that runner in from third base and stay out of the double play.
And now a pinch hitter, Brooks Conrad, will bat for Eric O'Flaherty. Conrad last season hit a pinch hit home run in his first plate appearance with the Braves. First to do that for the Braves franchise since Chuck Tanner back in 1955. And we were just talking about Chuck Tanner earlier today in reference to the fact that he was traded as a manager for a player, Manny Sanguillen, back in November of 1976. And the reason that came up, Ernie Harwell, the only broadcaster who was traded for a player back in 1948. Conrad down on strikes, but the Braves score 3 in the inning on 4 hits. Middle of the 6th in Philadelphia, 3-1 Atlanta. Box score brought to you by Toyota. 3 hits for Polanco. An RBI back in the 2nd inning for Shane Victorino. For more information on today's game and the latest in Major League Baseball news, log out to foxsports.com, powered by MSN, the world's favorite sports site. Third pitcher of the game for the Braves, Craig Kimbrell, who was called up earlier this week, made his Major League debut last night and allowed a double to the first batter he faced, Jason Worth. First batter Kimbrell faces today, Jason Worth. Worth is 0 for 2, grounded into a double play his last time up. Craig Kimbrell, the 2009 Phil Niekro Award winner, given annually to the Braves' top minor league pitcher. Drafted in the 3rd round 2 years ago. And Worth started down towards first, but apparently the pitch did not hit him.
You got to sell that a little better. You can't take a step and then look back to the umpire like, hey, did it get me or not? You just got to go down. You just put that bat down and hustle down to first if you're trying to sell it. That may be cheating in some people's minds, but I'd call that trying to get down to first base. Is a game.
Brian McCann out for a chat with Kimbrel.
Well, Kimbrel gets it up there. I mean, he's going to run it up there. We've seen 93, 94, 95 miles an hour. He's got a real good arm. And it's interesting. He throws out of the stretch. Billy Wagner suggested to him in spring training that he do that because, look, he's a closer, and he's going to be coming in relief. He'll be coming in with guys on, so why not throw from the stretch all the time?
High and tight, ball 4, so Worth heads down to first, a leadoff walk here in the 6th inning. More action in the Braves pen. Fox Sports is proud to team with the Breast Cancer Research Foundation during this 2010 MLB on Fox season. The Breast Cancer Research Foundation helps fund the most advanced and promising breast cancer research. Join the fight by texting CURE to 27722 to donate $10 or visit bcrfcure.org. Messaging and data rates may apply. Peter Moreland along with Johnny Venters up in the Braves pen. Roger McDowell, the former Philly, Atlanta Braves pitching coach.
Former Met, former Dodger. Had the pleasure to play alongside or behind Roger.
There's J.C. Romero up in the Phillies pen. Raul Ibanez at the plate. Worth on at first with nobody out. Ibanez is 1 for 2. Fastball missing inside, ball 1. Chris Medlin started the game for the Braves, his first start this season, replacing the injured Jair Jurgens, who allowed 1 run on 9 hits and 4 1/3. Eric O'Flaherty faced 1 batter, Ryan Howard. He grounded into a double play. Worth started down towards second, then held up, and the pitch way outside, ball 2.
Well, the Braves have to be cognizant of Jason Worth at first base. A 2020 guy, 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases the last 2 seasons. Again, probably one of the best athletes on the field. Do a lot of things.
Worth goes, and the pitch is hit in the air to center. McLeod moving to his left, makes the catch. Worth heads back to first. So Ibanez flies out, and that will bring in Carlos Ruiz. We referenced the trade of Ernie Harwell to the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was a broadcaster for the Atlanta Crackers of the Southern Association. He had been a bat boy for that franchise at the age of 5. Grew up in Atlanta, attended Emory University, was a copy editor for the Atlanta Constitution. Became an announcer for the Crackers in 1943. In 1948, Red Barber fell ill, broadcasting for the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time, and Rance Rickey pulled the trigger. He sent catcher Cliff Dapper to the Atlanta Crackers in exchange for broadcaster Ernie Harwell.
How'd that work out for a youngster named Vin Scully? Just a few years later with the Dodgers. That's amazing. I mean, you wonder if that trade wasn't made, does Vin Scully get an opportunity with the Dodgers?
Thanks to the 1-for-1 deal, Ernie Harwell for Cliff Dapper.
Branch Rickey involved. Branch Rickey signed Jackie Robinson. Traded Ernie Harwell.
Ernie Harwell and Cliff Dapper finally met each other in 2002 when Dapper traveled to Detroit when a statue of Ernie Harwell was unveiled at Comerica Park. He is 90 years of age and lives in Los Angeles. Worth goes. The throw down to second is off the mark. And Jason Worth has his second steal of the season.
Well, just watching Kimbrell, he's going to be susceptible to the stolen base. He's got a lot of motion. There's a lot of movement on that ball. Not easy for the catcher to receive. Now that's going to be something he'll need to work on, his delivery to home plate. Got to be a little bit quicker. Solve all those problems by not letting the guy get down to first.
To Carlos Ruiz, fastball, swing and a miss, 2-1.
That's 96 miles an hour with some movement. The only thing that this kid's going to have to combat is just the adrenaline rush, and that's normal your first few times in the big leagues. There's no question that the arm is live.
And Ruiz draws the second walk of the inning. Phillies have runners on first and second with one out. In the Phillies dugout, the jersey hung in memory of Robin Roberts, and the Phillies will take that jersey on the road with them for the remainder of the season. The patches on the right arm of the Phillies uniforms. Bobby Cox out to the mound, and that will be all for Kimbrell. Two errors for the Phillies. Phillies threatening here in the sixth with runners on first and second, one out. And the fourth pitcher of the game for the Braves is 31-year-old right-hander Peter Moylan.
Well, he's got a bit of experience. Come in, sidewinder here, get a lot of movement, get a lot of sink, and obviously bring him into this situation. You're looking for the ground ball. Trying to get that, as Ernie Harwell would say, 2 for 1.
Yes. And he will face the number 8 hitter in the Phillies order, the shortstop Wilson Valdez, who is 0 for 2 today. And Ross Glode has come out into the on-deck circle to pinch hit with the pitcher Joe Blanton due up next. Jones in on the edge of the grass at third. 2 walks in the inning. Worth the runner on second. Ruiz on at first, and the first pitch from Moylan to Valdez is ball 1. There's Worth and Ruiz.
You see the infield playing back. Troy Glaus, the first baseman, behind the runner. And this is almost a situation where the hitter up at the plate right now, you see Troy Glaus way back here. And you could drop a bunt down the first base side. Probably catch the Braves off guard.
Bounced up the middle. Stepping on second is Infante. Throws to first for the double play. Third double play turn in the last 4 innings by the Braves. Scoring all 3 of their runs in the 6th inning. An RBI double for Eric Hinsky, Melky Cabrera with an RBI single, and Omar Infante with a sacrifice fly. And the new pitcher for the Phillies, coming on in relief of starter Joe Blanton, is 33-year-old left-hander J.C. Romero.
He hadn't had a lot of action this year. He was on the disabled list and activated the 22nd of April, but he's only pitched in 3 games, and the last one he pitched was April 30th. So, you know, if I'm a Braves hitter right now, I'm up there, I'm going to make him throw a few pitches to see if he can find the plate.
Top of the order, Nate McLeod leading off for the Braves here in the 7th. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Yankees and the Red Sox now on a rain delay in Boston. Kenny Albert, Eric Karros from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Phillies won last night's game. The series opener 7-0. Phillies scored a run in the second inning today. Braves did not have a hit off Joe Blanton over the first 4 innings, but Atlanta broke through with 3 runs in the 6th. J.C. Romero now on the mound for Philadelphia, facing Nate McClouth, leading off for the Braves here in the top of the 7th inning. Phillies have won 4 in a row, 6 of their last 7, first place in the National League East with a record of 18-11. Braves struggling after an 8-5 start. They have lost 12 of their last 16 games. But they have a 3-1 lead over Philadelphia here today. As McClouth takes ball 2, now 2-2. Chad Durbin up in the Phillies pen. The 2-2 from Romero. Missing low, and the count is full with Martin Prado waiting on deck. Eric Hinsky, Melky Cabrera, and Omar Infante drove in the runs for Atlanta in the 6th. Hinsky with an RBI double, Cabrera a run-scoring single, Infante a sacrifice fly. Payoff pitch to McClouth, and he draws a leadoff walk. Well, Eric, time for Who's That Tweeter? Who tweeted the following this week? Please keep Ernie Harwell's family in your thoughts and prayers. He's meant so much to baseball and will forever. Was it Ryan Howard, Jabba Chamberlain, Josh Beckett, or Chipper Jones? To answer, visit foxsports.com/tunein and make your prediction before the final out of the 7th inning. Not in the game? Sign up today for next week's MLB on Fox game at foxsports.com/tunein. Have you tweeted yet today?
No. I can say no. I was thinking about lying, but then, I'm thinking I can't lie here. So I said no. I haven't tweeted yet, Kenny. How about yourself?
You still have time. I tweeted once. On the ground to the right side, Polanco over to first as McClouth moves to second. Well, for exclusive information, analysis, and breaking news, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and MySpace. Log on to twitter.com/MLB on Fox, facebook.com/Fox Sports, or myspace.com/Fox Sports. With one away, here's Chipper Jones. Chipper has reached base 3 times today on an error in the first. He walked in the 3rd. Infield single in the 6th, and he came around to score the Braves' first run.
Well, you mentioned him being on base, and that hasn't been the problem this year. He's got close to a .400 on base percentage. The problem has been driving the ball. Hitting the ball in the alley, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Again, while today they get on an air, an infield hit, a walk, but the Braves need some power. Wow, that ball bounced just beyond the grass, dirt cutout right in front of home plate. A great play by Carlos Ruiz. Blocked the ball with his neck, I think. Wow. And that's what we talked about with J.C. Romero coming in. He hasn't thrown. Last outing was April 30th. He's made some comments about wanting to get into games, but evidence so far a bit rusty. Walked the leadoff hitter. Next hitter, Prado, looked like a hit and run. And now he's fallen behind Chipper Jones 2-0. That pitch nowhere close. It's close if you're playing cricket.
As most of you know by now, his full name is Larry Wayne Jones Jr. first job packing ferns. What was your first job?
I was cleanup crew Sunday mornings, El Cajon Speedway, 5 a.m. in the morning. Terry was my boss. 22-year-old school, 22-year-old dropout. Yeah.
Well, Larry Wayne Jones Jr. draws a walk, second walk of the inning issued by Romero. And it is time now for a DirecTV game break. Mets and the Giants, and for the second straight game, a walk-off home run as Henry Blanco takes Guillermo Mota out of the park at Citi Field. It was Rob Barajas last night. Mets over the Giants, 5-4. The only way to watch every MLB game in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. Here's Brian McCann with runners on first and second, one out, and McCann takes ball one.
It's 2 days for the Mets to come back. Our director, Jim Lynch, has probably lost about 2 years of his life in the last 2 evenings. Works with the San Francisco Giant Ball Club, doing a fine job today for us. I don't know if he's still with us, though. He might have.
Jim's scheduled to head to New York for tomorrow's game. He may be up in the upper deck somewhere.
Oh, man.
Mets started play today just 2 games behind the first place Phillies in the National League East, as McCann fouls it back 1-1.
Well, you see what he's done since 2006. I mean, been one of the best offensive catchers. Does a fine job. Real gamer. He's had problems with his vision. You know, it's been chronicled, the LASIK surgery, the success, the lack of success, the glasses. You know, it's really impacted him, especially this year in the night games. He said just the other day that he's going to go back to the glasses. Day games, he's been fine.
Not wearing glasses today. He's had multiple LASIK surgery.
Well, he had both eyes done. Then he went in October and had his left eye done again. The right eye, ironically, is giving him trouble now. Hasn't said anything. Has struggled a bit this year. Just came out the other day and told Bobby Cox that he was having vision issues again. Said he was going to go back to the glasses. And as we mentioned, the day games haven't been a real problem. Night games, though, been difficult.
The 2-1 to McCann, fouled off to the left side. Now 2-2. 2 on, only 1 out. Top of the 7th inning in Philadelphia. Braves lead the Phillies 3-1.
You know, this is a situation where the Braves really, this is where they need that extra base hit, that home run, something to break a game wide open. You know, we mentioned coming into today, the only team with the worst slugging percentage, the Houston Astros.
Again, for those of you who have been watching the Yankees and Red Sox from Fenway, this is bonus coverage during the rain delay. The Braves and the Phillies from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. As soon as they resume play in Boston, we will send that portion of our audience back to Fenway Park.
Does that mean their bonus is taken away?
That's up to you.
This is bonus coverage. So therefore, if we send it back, it's been taken away, right?
The Yankees lead that game 6-3.
Does that mean you don't want to engage in that, Kenny? Just going to give the score?
They can keep their bonus. Tim McCarver up in Boston with Joe Buck.
God, I hope Timmy's getting earning his salary by the hour this year, because he'd be in business.
3 weeks ago today, Tim
you too.
St. Louis.
Yes.
Mets and Cardinals went 20. A game that was scoreless through the first 18 innings.
Well, and what did you do? One team, with the Mets scored, or somebody scored the top of the 18th or 19th and tied it up in the bottom.
Mets went out to win 2-1 in 20 innings. Romero steps off.
Romero employing the four corners offense here.
McCann down on strikes. So now 2 away here in the Braves 7th. Time for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge spotlight. Just as Chris Medlin gave the Braves the edge today, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. Medlin making his first start of the season, allowed only 1 run in 4 and a third innings. That will be all for J.C. Romero. Enter Chad Durbin. Durbin comes on with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning, and runners on first and second. Troy Gloss at the plate. Gloss is 0 for 3. He stranded 7 base runners in his first 3 at bats today.
Well, hasn't had the day that you would like, but again, he's getting an opportunity. A base hit here erases those previous at bats.
Strike 1. Came up with the bases loaded in the first, struck out. Came up with 2 on to the 3rd, fly to right. Came up with 2 on to the 6th, fly to center. 2 walks in the inning. McLouth on second. Chipper Jones takes his lead off first. Braves lead the Phillies 3-1. Again, bonus coverage. Yes, bonus coverage, Eric, for those of you who have been watching the Yankees and the Red Sox. They are in a rain delay at Fenway Park. Gloss went around, 0-2.
Now you can just tell Gloss is completely in between. You know, decides to take a pitch, it's right down the middle. Tries to check his swing, doesn't know if he's going to swing. You know, not a real good offering. Now, before you know it, down 0-2.
Durbin delivers, low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, and as a hitter right now, you just, it's a battle up there. It's a battle with yourself, let alone trying to hit the ball with the pitcher. You know, you just spread out. You're just trying to make contact, trying to just grind it out.
1-2. Durbin missing inside. Now 2-2.
You know, you're giving yourself a little life here. You know, a second ago you're thinking, man, I'm 0-2. It's just a horrible day. Not swinging the bat well. It can't get any worse. See Brian McCann frustrated. Swung at a pitch over his head. Didn't like it. Now Glass has worked the count 2-2.
Fastball missing high, and the count is full.
So you still got to grind. You got to pretend like this is 0-2. You can't get, okay, 3-2. I've battled.
Pop foul. So Gloss stays alive.
You know, if I'm pitching right now, you know, I know that the Gloss has been struggling. You know, it's windy up there. The dirt's swirling around. And he's got a 3-2 count. I throw something out of the zone because if I walk him, I get to start all over with Hinsky. I don't just groove one in there because it's 3-2. I use Troy's aggressiveness right now against him.
Again, debris flying all over the place in front of Gloss on this windy day in Philadelphia. As Gloss fouls it off back behind third. As McLeod heads back to second and Chipper Jones to first.
I mean, I think as a hitter right now, you see that wind gusting. Look at that tree out there. But as a hitter right now, with the way Gloss has been going, it's going to be very tough for him to just take a walk. He wants to do something up there.
A swing and a miss, strike three. So Gloss has stranded 9 base runners in this game. Six to 3 if and when they resume play in Boston. We will take that portion of our audience back. Here in Philadelphia, it's the Braves over the Phillies 3-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Not a good day for Boston sports teams yesterday, with the Yankees beating the Red Sox, the Bruins losing here in Philadelphia in overtime in Game 4 of their playoff series, Celtics losing to the Cavaliers. And not sure if you caught this one. The Red Sox media played a game yesterday afternoon at Fenway. Softball lost to the Yankees media 20-3. 20 runs put up on the board by the Yankee media at Fenway
Park. They got
some
athletes over there. That's what that higher payroll will do for you. Go out and buy the superior athletes.
So the city of Boston 0 for 4 in athletic competition yesterday. Ross Glode pinch hitting for Chad Durbin. Glode with the Marlins last season led all of Major League Baseball with 21 pinch hits. Two and one. Glode facing Peter Moylan, the fourth pitcher of the game for the Braves. Phillies scored their run in the second. Braves with 3 in the sixth. Bounce foul back behind first.
Well, you mentioned those 3 in the sixth. Joe Blanton had held the Braves to 1 hit through 5, and that was a base hit by Chris Medlin, the pitcher, and then 4 base hits in that 6th inning. And that's all the scoring for the Braves. And, you know, the Braves have had a number of opportunities. You know, but still just a 2-run ball game. They haven't been able to blow this thing open. And that's dangerous against the Philly ball club, because all Philly does, they get a guy down to first, next guy hits one out of the ballpark, which they are very prone to do. And Kenny Albert, they have Chase Utley on the bench.
Utley did not start for the first time this season in game number 30. On the ground to the second baseman Prado. So Glode is retired. Fox Saturday Baseball is sponsored by Just for Men. For mustache and beard, keep your edge. By Toyota. And by Holiday Inn, the official partner of Major League Baseball road trips. One away for Shane Victorino, who drove in the Phillies' run back in the second inning. There's Chase Utley in the Phillies dugout. Phillies being managed today by bench coach Pete McCannon in the absence of Charlie Manuel. And Pete mentioned during our interview with him that Charlie is at his daughter's wedding today. So we send our very best wishes to the entire Manuel family. On the other side, Bobby Cox in his 29th season as a Major League manager. 2,425 career victories, and Bobby announced that this will be his final season. He was honored this past Tuesday at the U.S. Capitol. Braves were in Washington to play the Nationals, and Bobby was presented with copies of the Congressional Record honoring his illustrious career. 4th all-time in wins. A couple of weeks ago, he was also presented a Stan Musial autographed photo on the field in St. Louis by Tony La Russa. Musial was one of Bobby's favorite players as a youngster, as Victorino draws a 1-out walk. We'll take you back to this past Tuesday at the U.S. Capitol as Bobby Cox was honored. Look at the Congressional Record, some of the Braves on hand. We had a look at Brian McCann. Victorino takes his lead off first as Moylan throws over with Greg Dobbs at the plate. 2,070 wins as Braves manager.
Yeah, I think when you talk about Bobby Cox, the ultimate compliment is you talk to any of his former players and they'll tell you that he was their favorite manager to play for. Not just because he's a nice guy or anything like that, because you know, the players feel like he's got their back. I remember Gary Sheffield, all-star outfielder for many years in the major leagues. He played for the Atlanta Braves. He told me he's up there hitting the 9th inning of a blowout game. He didn't like the call from an umpire, and so he's arguing with the home plate umpire. Again, this game is virtually over. But Bobby Cox comes out also to argue, and he said, you know, a lot of times, and most of the times, you know, hey, the game's over, I'm not going to go out there. But he's out there battling for his player till the very end, and that's something that, you know, every player respects.
Victorino on the move. No throw from McCann. 4th steal of the season for Shane Victorino. And the Phillies now have a runner in scoring position with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Yankees and Red Sox in a rain delay in the bottom of the 5th inning at Fenway, with the Yankees leading 6-3. The 3-0 to Dobbs, way outside. Second walk of the inning. Phillies now have 2 base runners with only 1 out here in the 7th. And now McCann out to chat with Moylan, who has thrown 8 consecutive pitches for balls.
Well, I think he's out there buying some time. Also wants him to make sure he pays attention to Victorino at second base. You've got a hitter right now, Polanco, at the plate that can do so many things. He can shoot the ball to the right side. You can play hit and run with him. Probably one of the best handlers of the bat out on the field today.
Polanco with 3 hits today, 3 for 3. An infield single his last time up. Victorino and Dobbs, the base runners. 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. Braves lead the Phillies 3-1. First pitch to Polanco, in for a called strike, 0-1.
Again, Polanco up at the plate right now. He's got to think hitting the ball to right center, especially with the sidewinder, Moylan. As a right-handed hitter, if you're thinking about pulling it, you usually jam the heck out of yourself.
Ryan Howard looming in the on-deck circle. Polanco fouls it off to the left side. 0-2.
Yeah, not what you want to do. The only thing really that you're going to be able to drive to the left side of the field with a guy like this is some sort of off-speed pitch that hangs. You've got to really think about shooting that ball to the right side. That ball's going to come in on your hands.
Two from Moylan. On the ground to the left side. Chipper Jones has 1 play, and that's over to first. Both runs advanced. Now 2 away for Ryan Howard.
That's exactly what Moylan wanted to do. Just run it in, let Polanco beat it into the ground. And Bobby Cox has seen enough.
So that will be all for Peter Moylan. Philadelphia, Kenny Albin with Eric Karros. Yankees and Red Sox still in a rain delay, bottom of the 5th inning at Fenway, with the Yankees leading 6-3. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. 25-year-old left-hander Johnny Venters in to face Ryan Howard with the crowd on their collective feet. Venters struck out Howard in the 6th inning of last night's game. Strike 1.
Well, he's got a live arm. It's a good angle, too, as far as being able to get movement on the ball. He's going to have a lot of life. He's about 93, 94. And there's nothing soft coming.
Runners on second and third, 2 outs. Howard 0 for 2 lifetime against Venters. Takes ball 1.
You can see that average against left-handed pitching, 190. One of the reasons Bobby Cox choosing this matchup.
1-1 from Venters. Now 2 balls, 1 strike.
That's the thing when you pitch to a guy like Howard, you do have to be fine because you do make a mistake and it's 3 runs on the board right here.
Phillies trail by 2, 3-1. The 2-1, and Howard pops it into shallow right field. And making the catch is Melky Cabrera. So the Phillies strand 2 in the 7th. They still trail the Braves 3-1. who has had a terrific season for the Phillies. He's allowed only 1 run in 8 2/3 innings.
Well, he's really taken to this role. He closed a few games, but has really settled into this 8th inning slot. Fastball that again, when he's only throwing an inning or two, he can get it up there about 94, 95, and a nasty splitter.
The 0-1 to Eric Hinsky, who drove in a run with an RBI double in his last at bat. Hinsky, as we mentioned earlier, faced the Phillies in each of the last 2 World Series. In fact, he's played in the last 3 World Series with 3 different teams, the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Yankees. Only the second player in history to appear in 3 consecutive World Series wearing 3 different uniforms. Don Baylor, back in the late 80s with the Red Sox, the Twins, and the A's, was the first. The 2-1 from Contreras, missing away. Now 3-1. Melky Cabrera on deck, then Omar Infante. So the 3 Braves due up this inning are the 3 Braves who drove in the Atlanta runs back in the 6th. 3-1 to Hinsky, and he draws a leadoff walk in the 8th. We take you back to our Who's That Tweeter bonus question. And the tweet this past week, please keep Ernie Harwell's family in your thoughts and prayers. He's meant so much to baseball and will forever. Was it Ryan Howard, Jabba Chamberlain, Josh Beckett, or Chipper Jones? What do you think, Eric?
I got to go with Jabba Chamberlain.
There you go. Jabba Chamberlain is the correct answer to our Who's That Tweeter bonus question. His former teammate Melky Cabrera at the plate, and he bunts Eric Hinsky, another former Yankee, over to second. So the successful sacrifice by Cabrera, and the Braves have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. So Cabrera does his job effectively. And now Omar Infante will step in to face Contreras. A remarkable story. But Contreras, if you remember, defected from the Cuban national team, signed with the Yankees back in 2003. His mom, Modesta Camejo, arrived in the United States this past Sunday after being separated from Contreras for the last 7 years, and saw him pitch for the first time in the major leagues.
That is something. I don't know if it's something that, you know, for me, the fact that she finally sees him, or as we were discussing, as you take a look right there, the fact that she's, I don't know, was she just allowed to come over? She, you know, have to go through all kinds of bells and whistles to get here?
Here's Valdez. So Infante is retired, and Hinsky moves to third. Contreras' dad, Florentino, passed away in 2004. His mom is 75 years of age. She flew from Cuba to New York on April 25th. And then met her son here in Philadelphia. And now Jason Hayward, the National League Rookie of the Month in April, will pinch hit for Johnny Venters. Hayward bothered by a sore right groin. And the game-winning hit as a pinch hitter in Washington on Thursday, but had trouble running the bases. He was taken out of the game. But look at Hayward's numbers so far during his rookie season at the age of 20.
And I spoke with hitting coach Terry Pendleton the other day, and he said the thing that amazes him most about Hayward is his ability to make an adjustment. I mean, he said he's a 20-year-old with a 30-year-old player's maturity. And it's, you know, we were talking, you know, just think again, like everybody says, if you knew what you know, at 20, you know, what you know at 30 or 40, how much more effective you would have been. And he's able to recognize something he needs to do and then actually make that adjustment.
On the ground for the first baseman, Ryan Howard. He takes it to the bag, and that retires the side in the 8th. Hinsky stranded on third, middle of the 8th. Good job by her son. 3-1 Atlanta. Much DVR storage as DirecTV, by Sears Blue Lawn and Garden Crew, and by Lexus. Unprecedented access means unprecedented values now through June 1st. Bottom of the 8th inning in Philadelphia. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Braves. 1 run, 9 hits, and 2 errors for the Phillies. The 6th pitcher of this game for the Braves is 40-year-old right-hander Takashi Saito. We just saw 38-year-old Jose Contreras take care of the Braves in the top half. Matt Diaz now in the game in left field for Atlanta as Jason Worth swings and misses at the first offering from Saito. Strike one. Worth is 0 for 2 with a walk. Leads the Phillies in runs batted in with 24. Has homered in each of the last 2 games. Nothing in 2.
Well, Sider was the closer for the Dodgers for a number of years. You know, there's this perception that he's a control guy that likes to hit spots, but he can rush it up there. 93, 94. Hit the corners, good off speed. Look at Jason Worth and his maturity as a hitter. Actually just getting an opportunity to play. Charlie Manuel told me that when they had Worth and they signed him as a free agent, you know, he first saw him play, he said he knew that he would be a good player. He just didn't know if he was going to be able to get the at-bats.
Worth down on strikes. 1 away here in the Phillies' 8th. A live look at Fenway Park, and it looks like the tarp is being taken off, so the Yankees and Red Sox hope to resume play shortly, with the Yankees leading 6-3, bottom of the 5th inning. So we will send a portion of our audience back to Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, and Ken Rosenthal when in fact they resume play in Boston.
Yeah, those 3 are probably out stretching right now, getting ready.
especially Ken.
Yeah, Kenny.
He's got to dodge out of the way of foul balls down at field level. Infante. 2 away. NASCAR at Fox tonight for a preview. Take it away, Chris Myers.
Thanks very much. Getting ready at the Hollywood Hotel for tonight's broadcast. There was a shakeup at the points lead. Kevin Harvick is ahead of Jimmy Johnson. Jeff Gordon is on the front row trying to win here for the 8th time in his career. We hope you join us for NASCAR on Fox, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific from Darlington Raceway.
All right, thanks very much, Chris. 2 away, bottom of the 8th inning. Base is empty. Here's Carlos Ruiz. Did not start the game, but Brian Schneider left after 3 innings due to a left Achilles strain. Ruiz with a single in the 4th, and he walked in the 6th inning. 3-1 Braves, bottom of the 8th, with 2 outs. Atlanta scored all 3 of their runs in the top of the 6th inning. And Philly starter Joe Blanton. The Braves bullpen has been terrific. 3 1/3. No hits, no runs.
And the Phillies have had opportunities. 9 left on base today, 6 of them in scoring position. You know, it's almost been one of those bend, don't break efforts by the Braves staff today.
Left field, curving foul.
As a pitching coach would say, strike 2.
It sounded an awful lot like Roger McDowell. Phillies have had at least 1 base runner in every inning until this one so far. The 2-2 from Saito to Ruiz. Second strikeout of the inning for Takashi Saito. We head to the 9th. 3-1 Braves. And the Yankees and Red Sox scheduled to resume play at 6:20, 14 minutes from now. And due to our NASCAR coverage on Fox tonight, for the portion of our audience that was watching the Yankees and the Red Sox earlier, the conclusion of that game can be seen on FX. So the Yankees and Red Sox scheduled to resume at 6:20 on FX. Here in Philadelphia, top of the 9th inning. Danny Baez, the 5th Phillies pitcher of this game, facing the top of the order, Nate McClouth, then Martin Prado and Chipper Jones, with the Braves leading 3-1. Atlanta without a hit over the first 4 innings against Joe Blanton, but the Braves broke through for 3 in the 6th. And McClouth with a drive to deep right field. It's over the head of Worth, off the out-of-town scoreboard. Long turn by McClouth, and then he heads back to first on the throw from Worth.
Well, McClouth gets good extension, a nice fluid swing. Takes out the box, and he thinks he's got double, but the way Worth plays it off that wall, and again with that strong throw right there, McClouth does the right thing and just stands at first. Again, you know, I'm talking about Worth. You see McClouth, you're thinking, yeah, I got two. Maybe not. Not too good idea if I run to second.
We saw Worth climb that wall and grab the ball with his bare hand off the wall earlier. Ball 1 to Martin Prado. 0 for 4, reached on an error back in the first inning. So the leadoff man is on for the Braves here in the 9th. Prado lays down the bunt. Is tagged out by Howard. McClouth moves to second. Well, today's Lexus Hybrids game-changing player. How about the Atlanta Braves bullpen? 5 relief pitchers. After the starter, Medlin went 4 1/3. And they have not allowed a hit or a run in 3 2/3 innings. So a terrific job by the Braves bullpen. O'Flaherty, Kimbrel, Moylan, Venters, and Saito. Braves now with a runner on second, McClouth, as Chipper Jones takes a called strike. 0-1. Chipper has reached base in all 4 plate appearances today. Reached on an error, an infield hit, and has walked twice. So he has not gotten the ball out of the infield, Eric, but has been on base 4 times.
Hasn't been pretty, but it's been effective. But again, that's not Chipper Jones' game. He's somebody that drives the ball, has always been a cog in the middle of that lineup. When you talk to him, that's been his frustration. You know, he's still an effective player, but it's not the player that, you know, we've come to know.
1-1, fastball missing inside. Now 2-1. Tremendous job by our entire crew today here in Philadelphia, led by producer Jeff Gowen, director Jim Lynch. Billy Wagner is up in the Braves pen. Our associate director Kathy Hunt, broadcast associate Matt Saldana, technical producer Matt Benedict. The 2-1 on the ground to the second baseman Polanco. So Chipper is retired for the first time in today's game. McClouth moves over to third. Our pregame show produced by Don Bowie. Highlights coordinator is Janice Casaza. Technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers are David Hill and Ed Gorin. Thanks to Eric Merlis and Scott Ahrens up here in the broadcast booth. Brian McCann with 2 outs, and McClouth taking his lead off third. Braves lead the Phillies 3-1. Yankees and Red Sox will resume on FX at 6:20, about 10 minutes from now. Yankees with a 6-3 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning at Fenway. Phillies will have Valdez, the number 8 hitter, the pitcher spot, and Victorino due up in the bottom of the ninth. Fastball in for a called strike, 1-1 on McCann, who struck out his last time up with 2 men on.
I got to believe that ninth inning we're going to see Chase Utley. He's had some success off of Billy Wagner. He probably comes in to close.
Wagner, the former Philly, with 388 career saves, and like Bobby Cox, he has announced that 2010 will be his final season.
And he's had a great career. Fastball slider guy. Had some arm trouble, but still rushing it up there in the mid-90s.
Baez missing away with the fastball, now 3-1. Troy Gloss waiting on deck. Gloss 0 for 4. He has stranded 9 base runners today. May get one more chance. He will. So first and third with 2 outs for Gloss. Came up with the bases loaded in the first, with 2 men on in the third, the 6th, and the 7th.
I mean, if you're Troy Gloss right now as a hitter, you're thinking, look, I'm due. Something good has to happen. I mean, it just can't get any worse.
He's 1 for 4 with a home run lifetime against Baez. First and third, 2 outs. Top of the 9th inning, with the Braves leading 3-1. First pitch fouled back over the screen, 0-1.
And see, that's again when you're not going well. It seems, and it doesn't seem, you are. You're 0-1, 0-2, 1-2. Every single pitch is a grind. You know, but again, you just have to keep battling. You have to keep persevering and just thinking, hey, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I hope I get him.
Let's see if he gets him. 1-1. And he's been behind 0-1 in all 5 at bats today.
Well, that's the thing. It's, you know, you zig, it zags. You take a pitch, you try it down the middle. You swing at something, it's in the dirt.
1-2.
Well, he's in a familiar spot. Runners on, and he's 1-2. Got 2 strikes. So at least he's used to it. Just like a little different outcome. You got the dirt blowing in your face.
And that's been a problem for just about everybody throughout this game.
Got some shadows, a little wind.
A 1-2 to Gloss. And this one will drop in for a base hit. So Gloss finally with a productive at bat after he stranded 9 base runners. His first 4 times up. He drives in his 16th run of the season, extending the Braves lead to 4-1.
No, it wasn't a line shot, but he fought it off. And that's why, you know, that's the difference between a guy that has played 14, 15 years, has had a productive career, is that he just keeps grinding. I mean, because I don't care how talented you are, there are going to be times in this game where you're going to wonder, what the heck am I even doing up here?
So the Braves lead 4-1, first and second with 2 outs for Matt Diaz, batting for the first time today, and he takes a called strike. Diaz hitting just 180 on the season, 11 hits and 61 at bats. Diaz falls behind, 0-2. The Braves just 4-13 on the road this season. In fact, they have not won a road game in which they have scored less than 5 runs. 0-13 when scoring less than 5 on the road. They have 4 here today and lead by 3. Valdez gets the out at second. We head to the bottom of the 9th here in Philadelphia. Valdez, pitcher spot, Victorino due up. The 5th inning following a rain delay. So for the portion of our audience that watched the Yankees and the Red Sox earlier, you will be able to tune in on FX 3 minutes from now. Here in Philadelphia, it's the Braves 4, the Phillies 1. As Billy Wagner, who pitched for the Phillies back in 2004 and 2005, will come on to try and close it out for Atlanta. Wagner comes in as part of a double switch. Brandon Hicks, the youngster, now in the game at third base, and Chase Utley in the on-deck circle. So Wilson Valdez leads off against Wagner and takes the fastball for a called strike, 0-1.
And that's why that run the Braves scored in the last inning, as you see Chase Utley there on deck, was so big. That base hit by Troy Glaus with 2 outs gives them a 3-run lead, gives Wagner something to work with. He doesn't have to worry about if he puts a guy on, the tying run comes to the plate.
Wilson Valdez 0 for 3 today. Here's Hicks, the new third baseman. The 0-2 from Wagner. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You mentioned Billy Wagner saying this is his last year. Go home and be with the family. Still getting it up there, 96 miles an hour.
Nice backhanded stop by Hicks. Fires across to retire Valdez. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning in Philadelphia. Congratulations to Mike Haanen for winning today's MLB on Fox Tune In to win. Visit foxsports.com/tunein to see your results. If you missed this week's game, make sure to play next week. Here's Chase Utley. Pinch hitting here at the bottom of the 9th. He started the first 29 games this season, given the afternoon off today. Utley with 8 home runs, 5th in the National League. Leads the league in runs, 2nd in on-base percentage. Pinch hitting with the Phillies trailing by 3. He is 4 of 11 lifetime against Billy Wagner. Phillies have stranded 9 base runners in this game. They scored their lone run back in the 2nd inning. Braves have turned 3 double plays to end the 3rd, the 5th, and the 6th innings. 2-0 to Utley. In for a strike. 2-1.
Now you talk about those 9 stranded, 6 of them in scoring position at 2nd or 3rd base. Well, they've had their opportunities.
Braves bullpen now 4 innings of scoreless relief. They have not allowed a base hit. As Utley fouls it off to the left side. The last Phillies hit came back in the 5th inning off the bat of Polanco. They've had 4 base runners since then, all coming on walks. The 2-2 to Utley. Called strike 3.
And this guy's going to retire at the end of the season. Still able to get it up there, 95, 96 miles an hour. Gets one of the best players in the game looking. Nothing you can do with that as a hitter.
So now the Braves 1 out away. We apologize for the technical difficulties you may have experienced just a moment ago. You can catch the Yankees and the Red Sox on FX. Here's Shane Victorino, and he takes strike 1. Victorino, as we mentioned, drove in the Phillies' only run back in the second inning. Phillies' 4-game winning streak is in jeopardy. The Mets won today on a walk-off home run by Henry Blanco. So a Braves win, and the Phillies' lead over the Mets would be just 1 game in the National League East. The 1-1 to Victorino. Now 1-2. Wagner, the 6th relief pitcher of this game for Atlanta. Eric O'Flaherty, who faced 1 batter, is in line for the win. Left center. And coming on to make the catch is Diaz, and the ball game is over. A sliding catch by Matt Diaz, who replaced Eric Hinsky in left. And the Braves take game 2 of this series by the score of 4-1.
Well, a real nice job. Matt Diaz coming in, making the great catch. We talked about the Atlanta bullpen today. A very nice job. Also have to hand it to Chris Medlin, who held this Philly ball club at bay, only allowing 1 run. A nice spot start. Atlanta Braves come in and get a much-needed win. And maybe this is something that can get their offense going. They put 4 runs on the board. Wasn't great, but it was effective.
Career save number 389 for Billy Wagner, and 2 terrific plays by defensive replacements in the 9th inning. First, the third baseman Brandon Hicks, and then Matt Diaz in left field.
Well, Bobby Cox pushed all the right buttons. The defensive replacements, the pitching changes. Why he'll be a Hall of Fame manager.
So the Braves win it by the score of 4-1. Career win number 2,426 for Bobby. Will return to Philadelphia.